Hey guys, do y'all want to know the secret that nobody's talking about when it comes to spots and fishing inshore? Stick around. That's all I'm doing today is fishing my spots. Alright, got a group of tailing reds up here in this grass. I wasn't planning on doing that today, so I don't have a weedless setup right this second. About that little thing right there. Little hook caddy. Alright, maybe y'all be able to see this. The school of reds tailing right there in this grass. Right there. There's a bunch of mullet mixed in with them. Y'all saw that. So making this angle change, now I can drag it right through where they're feeding, instead of just a little nick corner of where they were feeding. I think the reds moved out of there for the most part. There was one big red in there that I was sitting there watching, and I hadn't seen him pop up in a while. I mean, he has to be right in here somewhere in this grass. I'm gonna stay here and play. I ain't doing nothing but wasting time. Tides done come in, they're either over there and, you know, just water's high enough now you can't see them. They ain't eating, I can tell you that. First catch of the day is a teeny trout way in the back of a creek. It's a frustrating day, guys. The wind is keeping this water in here. The tide's been high for an hour and 10 minutes and it's just not even moving yet. And all the bait's up here in the grass. So we're just gonna keep chugging along. Alright guys, so we found the bait mother lode. There's bait everywhere. So you've got a little flat over there, a little flat over here. You've got oysters coming under and to the side. You got a little feeder that comes in right behind it. So you've got a little choke point on your outgoing. We're probably going to have to sit here for a little while before we really get into them. But just, it's the first creek I found today that had any sizable sort of bait in it. So we're just gonna hang tight and wrap it up here. Little rat. Love to see them. Tell your mama to come on up here. That ain't a rat. It may be. You must have got hung in some oysters for a second. Oh, buddy, I thought you were gonna be mama. After the day's going, I wouldn't mind sitting here catching about 20 of them things. Starting to get good. Oh, another rat. Buddy, I already caught you once, I think. Don't eat the sexy mullet. They're so much fun. They're so aggressive. I know, buddy. I wish y'all would stop hitting it, to be honest with you. I've caught enough of you. I don't want to hurt you. I want you to grow up. That should be my flounder. I've been watching him for the last hour. Yep. There's my slam. A weak slam, but it's a slam. Buddy, I was gonna let you go because you were small, but the tongue hook and the eye hook, it don't look good for you. You're legal all day long. I ain't kept the fish all day. I've been watching him over here on this little mud flat in between those oysters and that mud flat. And I've thrown it over there on him 5 times and it's spooked him. That time I threw it up on the mud bank and drug it off and he waxed it. So that's the 4th trip in a row here that I've caught a flounder. Another rat. Now I saw your mama come through here. Did I spook her? Probably. Probably so. Just my luck. Come on, man. How you gonna spook on that? Alright, so that red was sitting right here. I made 2 really bad pitches to him. And he didn't spook, he just swam up. And I saw him, he swam back, made a perfect pitch to him, spooked, swam back up, and I've seen him come back once. I didn't even throw to him. He just cruised back up again. It is 1:34 and it's hot as rip. Don't do this, but I'm gonna do what you shouldn't do. I'm gonna go up the little gut right here, and I either spook him or catch him. That's it. Well, I didn't spook him, but it's another rat. Another rat. These rats just want to be TV stars. I am happy to see them in here though. Last year we didn't catch any out of here hardly. So finally had a good year, a good brood year. Our redfish population needs it. See you later next time. See you later next time. I'm tired. Let's head to the house. Well, this was not supposed to go this way. This is what happens when 1 more cast turns into 5 more casts. You end up being 5 minutes too late to get out. So my wife's gonna be pissed, and I don't have any beer. It's hot. How y'all like my makeshift tea top? Well, lesson learned. It was worth it. Alright guys, well, since I waited 5 minutes too long to come out of here and have been sitting here for an hour now, and it appears that I have about an hour more to go, I was going to do my outro in the truck because it is hot. My legs are burnt and I'm fried. So today's video was about spots. I fished my #1 trout hole. I fished my number 1 redfish hole. I fished some places that I know there are both reds and trout and flounder, and have done very successful there in the past. My original plan for today was to fish all new spots, but then I was like, no. You know, there's this whole thing going around about spots and spot dissections, and you know, here, you pay me this and I'll give you these spots. Well, spots are dynamic in nature. My spots sucked today. My number 1 trout hole, I didn't catch a fish. I have never gone there and not caught a fish. But why? Well, full moon last night, high tide this morning. Even though it's the lesser of the 2 high tides, it wasn't the flood tide. It pretty much was. I mean, it was a flood tide enough for all the bait to get in the grass, but not me. You know, we couldn't get the boat in the grass, but all the bait was in the grass. You know, the fish through top water for probably 45 minutes. Didn't even have a blow up, period, nothing. Through all my usual stuff, you know, even got really finicky with them, nothing. So that was my trout hole. You know, so it's summer. Trout, I would suggest if you want to catch them relatively shallow, I'd say less than 5-6 feet of water. You probably are going to do that in the first hour, maybe 2 hours if it's overcast during the summer. But so after that, I went to a trout and redfish hole. And what did I do there? I don't think I caught anything there. Went to another trout and redfish hole and caught 1 trout. Just no sign of bait whatsoever. At this point in time, the tide had peaked out at high and it started, you know, going out. And so I'm going to my number 1 redfish hole. You know, and so at this point in time, it's still high tide. I get here, fish. Nothing. Bait's everywhere. I found the bait. But the fish are going to be behind that initial wave of bait. And so I had to wait an hour and a half, 2 hours before I caught my first fish. And then it was Rat City after that, just like y'all saw. You know, but I know that spot, the redfish don't come, the big reds do not come there until about 30 to 45 minutes before dead low. That's it. They're going to show up right at the last minute. You can go further back and extend that out, but you get locked in, and I was trying not to get locked in today, even though I did. It's like a 1.2 negative tide today. I thought I could still get out of here, but that's beyond the point at this point in time. So the point of the matter is that my number 1 trout hole is a low incoming hole. I fished it high incoming. The second hole I went to is a low incoming hole. I fished it dead high. My redfish hole is a low outgoing, you know, bottom third of the outgoing. I fished it top third of the outgoing. Unsuccessful in all of them. So if I go and give you those spots, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Spots are dynamic in nature. Spots in the summer are different than spots in the winter. Spots in the fall and spring kind of line up, but you know, the fish move. The way to understand don't worry about spots. Just get spots out of your head. Spots are nothing but a series of characteristics of an area that leads you to likely be successful. So let's say you were targeting trout at the dead low tide today. You know, dead lows at 2:45. It's hot. It's like 100 degrees out here right now. You're probably going to have to go find them in 10 foot of water. You know, so going and fishing a creek mouth, you know, an outgoing creek mouth that dumps onto a 2 to 4 foot flat, they're not going to be there. They're going to be, your boat is probably sitting on top of them. That's what a lot of people do. The boat is sitting on top of the fish. You know, so don't worry about spots and find out what works for you. That's the number 1 thing I want you to understand. And the way that you do that is by going and fishing. Getting somebody else to tell you spots and how to fish it and everything, all you're doing is shortcutting yourself. You really are. If you go out and learn on your own, and this applies to, I'd say, 80% of the people. You know, the people that get to fish once a month, maybe it's worth somebody telling you exactly how to go do it, and that's it. Because you're never going to be able to figure out a pattern. But it's being able to go and figuring out that here's what's happening. I have to make an adjustment. This morning I knew without a shadow of a doubt the bait's in the grass. I had two choices. If I was smart, I'd have gone deep and fished for trout for the first couple hours. You know, if I was fishing the way that I wanted to fish, but that wasn't the point of this video. The point of the video was kind of to be not successful. I caught fish, but I didn't catch the fish that I probably could have. You know, so spending the time and investing in yourself and coming out here and earning your own spots pays dividends. And what you have to do is say that you have a whole day to fish. Go to some of your go-to spots at the prime time, but then go try other stuff in between, new stuff. You have to constantly be adding to that arsenal, because what you're going to end up learning is that a spot's a spot. I mean, there's 50 spots within a mile of here that are just like the one that I'm sitting in. You know, this one might not have the reds in it today. It might not have the bait in it today. You know, a lot has changed. I don't get to fish every day. That's why guides are so successful. Guides get to fish every day. They can stay on top of a school of fish. Most of your hobby anglers don't get to fish every single day. You know, we get to fish 2 times a week, maybe once a week. I mean, if somebody gets fished 2 times a week, I'm jealous. But you know, at most I get to fish once a week. Usually it's once every other week. I can't stay on a school of fish, so I have to kind of understand, here's what's happened with the weather, here's their likely place of being, and then in order to maximize your success, you have to be able to be dynamic. You have to be able to know that this is not working, I got to make a change. But so doing your own due diligence and earning it yourself allows you to figure those things out. You know, I would have a game plan, come out here with 10 spots that you've gone and done your research on, and base it on, you know, if the bait's here, this is where I'm going. If the bait's not here, this is where I'm going. If it's overcast, this is what I'm doing. You know, just different things so that you can kind of have a game plan coming in, but never fails. You're going to end up having to do some kind of a change once you get out here. Little stingray going crazy over here. But yeah, that's kind of my little spot thing. Spots are kind of bullcrap. You know, I think giving spots to people is doing them a disservice. I think that sometimes, let's be honest, in Georgia we do have trout drops. We have drops that people find on, you know, or have been told that you can go to about on any time of the day, regardless of the season, and catch trout. You go out there and somebody puts that spot out publicly, that spot's not a spot anymore. So let's say 30 people find out about that spot. It don't take long, that spot's it's done. You know, so if somebody is telling you about spots and stuff, look at it from a bigger picture instead of the exact spot, and then go and replicate it in other areas. That's the best advice I can give you. Just adapt to what the water tells you, what the day tells you, and make adjustments. Not every day you're gonna skunk. You're gonna skunk. You're gonna come out and catch nothing but shorts or rats. You know, I had 1 legal fish today. I kept 1 flounder. That's it. Everything else was shorts. Just is what it is. That's what happens. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. I'll try to do some future videos kind of based off of this about fish biology and understanding fish biology and how to formulate a plan to maximize your potential for success. How, you know, doing your own scouting versus relying on others, and Now, if you're a newbie, brand new to the game, I hate to say it, but it's probably worth it to you to go with a guide the first time or two. You know, that learning curve is significantly cut down. The stuff you can go and learn with a guide. You know, don't be ashamed of it. You know, I love figuring out all my own stuff and doing all my own stuff, but there's no replicating somebody that does this every day and just picking their brain. There's several guys in our area that you just go and be honest with them, tell them, you know, hey, I'm just starting out, I want to do this on my own. You know, I want to go catch fish, yeah, but I really want to go and learn. And make sure they understand that up front. And I think that would be probably the best investment of your time, you know, first starting out. But if you have the ability to fish once a week, just do it. You can just start scratching it out. You know, don't keep repeating the same. If you're failing and you're not succeeding, don't keep repeating the same thing. Do something different. Do something different. Do something different. So, I hope y'all enjoyed it. So, tide's finally coming back in. Back into the boat's about to float. So, we're going to head to the hill and I'm going to get in the air conditioner. So, hope y'all have a good one. Fish it.